of the dues you've been paying. Future's coming much too slow. I understand about indecision. I don't care about getting behind. People living in competition. All I want is to have my peace of mind. Hello there and welcome to my channel. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen video. Today will not be a review of a pen, but a review of a pen company, Penbbs. I wanted to do this video for a while, but after doing some research and digging around on the internet, I failed to come up with any real information about this Chinese fountain pen company, other than rumor and hearsay. That is, until this week. A viewer and fan of my channel from China, who has been following Penbbs since its inception about 15 years ago, sent me an email documenting much of the development and early history of this fountain pen company. I love Penbbs and have been collecting them and praising their virtues since I purchased this Penbbs 308 Cedar back in May of 2019. So now I'd like to share this company's fascinating history and give you a virtual tour of their current offerings and show you my entire collection of Penbbs fountain pens right now. A couple of months ago, I started planning a video about Penbbs, the company, the pens, the history, etc. I kind of ran into a roadblock in that there's very, very little information about Penbbs outside of China. I asked in the Penbbs Facebook fan group, Taste the Rainbow, but people have as little information as I do about Penbbs. So I wrote to Zhilong Su, ostensibly the lead person at Penbbs. He puts up advanced information on new models on his Instagram. I received no answer. I'm not surprised. They're very, very busy over in China these days. So I searched the Chinese Penbbs forum, where the company seems to have been born, translated in my Chrome browser, of course. But even translator, I couldn't find any information about the history of the company. I asked questions and searched the Fountain Pen Network, the self-proclaimed font of all fountain pen knowledge, but only got the chirp, chirp, chirp of blank responses. What's the sound of one hand clapping?
Quickly as you can. Snatch the pebble from my hand.
Seriously, you could set off a bomb over there and not disturb anyone. But then, just a few days ago, I received a series of unsolicited emails from a Daniel Chang, with a wealth of information about Penbbs. I struck a gold mine. Daniel is a fountain pen enthusiast from mainland China who's been part of the Penbbs forum, the original Penbbs forum, and the growth of the company since the very beginning. So I simply had to turn on my camera, assemble my beloved Penbbs pens, and share everything with Penbbs fans. For those of you watching who do not share the love of Penbbs fountain pens, you can switch off right now, because there will be a lot of fanboy gushing and Penbbs eye candy, which may offend your pure fountain pen sensibilities. And also, to my thumbs down stalker friend, it doesn't matter that you don't watch to the end before you give me your thumbs down. Dude, seriously, you do know that I get 3 bonus points each time you stalk my channel, right? 1 for hitting the video, 1 for your thumbs down vote. You see, YouTube sees a thumbs up and a thumbs down as interaction and loves both of them. And 1, of course, for your visible only to you rude comment. You see, you're the only one that sees those comments. Nobody else can see them. But I get a plus on my channel for every time you do comment. So please, thumbs down, comment away. To start with, this is what I had gleaned from searching information about Penbbs for about a year now before I got Daniel's emails. I'm old enough to know what a BBS or a bulletin board service is. I was part of a theater-related BBS on the internet before the invention of the World Wide Web, so we're talking 1985 here. The World Wide Web didn't come around until about 1993, 1994. A bulletin board service was a way for people to connect from around the world and share information during the days of MS-DOS, 300 baud modems, and CompuServe. Penbbs started in the late 90s when bulletin board services became popular in China. A group of people who liked pens gathered at a popular BBS to discuss pens and inks. This group of people started their own BBS forum around 2003 and called it Penbbs. By 2005, it became the most popular discussion forum on fountain pens and ink in China. Part of what was being discussed at this forum needs to be understood from the Chinese perspective. There wasn't much information or service for some of the most popular fountain pen brands at the time. The most popular brand in China was Parker, as the product was introduced to the country during World War II with U.S. troops, and became highly sought after by the Chinese. After the year 2000, more Western pen companies entered the Chinese market, and fountain pen lovers started to become aware of other brands, although information, service, and expertise about Western brands like Waterman, Schaefer, Cross, Mont Blanc, and others was still hard to come by. The Penbbs forum became the place to go to search out and share information and advice about Western brands. Later on, as more Chinese people started obtaining Western brand pens, they shared their unboxing and writing experience on that forum, just as we do now on YouTube. Along with the unboxing and reviews, there were reviews of various inks, and the forum became the best place to find that information and discuss fountain pen inks. The Penbbs group of enthusiasts started with ink, and Penbbs inks are now in their 21st season. Penbbs inks have become one of the most popular among Chinese students. The idea of making a Penbbs pen started from the repair of vintage pens. There was very little service available in China for Western branded pens. Some people offered their repair services through the Penbbs forum and shared the details of the repairs on the forum. Some high-end repairs required custom-made pen parts and custom nibs. This attracted the attention of some investors, and it seems the pen experts put their collective heads together and created the first Penbbs fountain pen. The first batch of pens was pre-ordered and sold out before it was even finished. Of course, there were problems, but the owners and the developers all shared their observations and suggestions on the forum, and improved versions began to appear. The first edition was made in 2017. Others can fill in the details that have happened since 2017, and I welcome your comments in the comment section. What models predate currently existing models and are now extinct? Inquiring minds want to know. I'll be hitting up Daniel with all kinds of questions. We'll pass any questions you have along to him as well. Now let's look at the Penbbs 2020 product line. I've been collecting Penbbs pens since the first 308 I bought on eBay last May, but I didn't know about Etsy at the time. But I love this cedar pen with the gold Waverly nib. I'll also post links in the description below to some resources provided by Taste the Rainbow, the Facebook group. There are Google documents with charts showing all Penbbs models and the various finishes available for that model. It's very informative and kept very current, a great resource. So let's take a brief tour of the official store for Penbbs on Etsy. It is called Penbbs Official Store, and it is run by a young lady named Baini Zheng. Let's look at the models one by one here. This is the 267. This has a long tail on it, no clip, and it looks like one of those pens that were in desk sets back in the 50s and 60s. And here is the 268. The 268 is the smaller version vacuum filler pen, and it is a smaller version of the 456, which we'll see in a second. The 308. The pen is a classic cigar-shaped pen. This pen, I believe, I might be mistaken, but I believe has the largest variety of finishes available on any model. Then there's the 309. This is the Penbbs only piston filler fountain pen in their lineup. The 323. Here's the 323 in the finish cloud, and you can see that it is a uniquely shaped pen. The 350 is an aluminum finished pen. I don't own one of these, but it has a lovely faceted cap on it to keep it from rolling off your desk. There is no clip. The 352. The 352 here in purple cloud is like a flat top version of the 308. I can't really say that for sure. It looks a bit thinner because I don't own one of these, but I've been toying with the idea of getting one of these pens. They come in, again, a wide variety of different finishes. The 380 is another aluminum finish pen, only it has this twisting faceted pattern and that sword clip, which is also very, very interesting. The 456, arguably one of the best models. Here it is in the finish Aurora. This is a vac filler, and this is the large vac filler. The 469, who else do you know? I'm sure there are, but who else do you know that makes a double-ended fountain pen? This one in the fabulous finish Galaxy. The 471, it's a pocket pen, and when it's closed, it's very, very tiny. And when you open it up, you put the cap on this end, and it becomes a full-size fountain pen. The 480. This pen, I consider an upgraded 308. It has pointier ends, so it's not a cigar shape. It's more of a torpedo shape, more like the Schaefer Balance. The 486. This is a new model, but an interesting pen nonetheless. So they've taken their very nice shape. This one's in Galaxy, and sort of a rounded torpedo shape, and they've put a roll stop on it. Here's another new model. This is the 491. This one I consider the upgraded 323, in that it has some of the same kind of characteristics as the 323, but the cap actually posts on this one. The pièce de résistance, the 500. This was a highly anticipated new model, and it is a spring filler. The rod comes out at the back, and it basically is a plunger that you plunge down and back up, and it sucks up ink into the pen. The other cool thing about Penbbs is they come out with limited editions. So for collectors, I mean, just the myriad of different finishes that are available on all these models, but they also come out with limited edition colors and finishes and models. Here is a limited edition new model, highly anticipated. The 492, this is a magnetic piston filler. This is a pricey item, of course, and they are limited edition. So, and these are pre-sales. When you look, as of today, there's only 2 of these in pre-sale left. And there is also this Marshmallow 322. It's a small pen, not your standard Penbbs nib on them. It has a little heart-shaped breather hole, and that's about a number 5 size nib. So a smaller pen, and again, the price is right. But I also wanted to show you Biney's Instagram page. She just posted this today. This is the 323 in a completely new finish. Biney has also hinted at on her Etsy page here, on her Instagram page here, that there is a new model coming. Here it is. So all she said here was there is a new model coming, and it's the 487. On to my collection. Okay, so here we go with my collection of Penbbs. This started almost a year ago. I collected my first pen, my 308 Cedar, back in May of 2019, and I still love this pen. This finish is, I think, unique. This is a unique 308 in that most 308s have a small O-ring right there so that you can eyedropper the pen. This one did not, and I can't find out why. It also has a lovely Penbbs gold fine nib. This is that Waverly upturned nib. There you can see it, slightly upturned, so that when you're writing, that upturn is flat on the page. I'm going to post right here an image that Daniel sent me as well, because one of the things I've been searching for quite a while was an example of every kind of nib that Penbbs makes or has made for them. I'm not even sure whether they make their own nibs. But this is one of them, the all gold fine. And Daniel sent me a chart which shows every single nib, and some of these I had never even heard of before. There's a particular gold and chrome variety that I've never seen before. So again, if you have more information, please comment below. I started collecting the 308. The next one I got was this Amber is a Cat. And this did it for me for the amber finish. I've got videos on every one of these pens so that you can look at those reviews. But this finish right here is what sold me on Penbbs. And this has that unique Amber is a Cat paw print nib. There are two other cat finishes, which is Tootsie, which we'll see in a moment, and Nian Gao, which I don't own. But they don't have those paw print nibs. My most recent 308 is this in Infinite, this clear transparent blue, which is with the gold nib, makes this pen just gorgeous. I also pick up these little nib charms for like $5, and you have this lovely acrylic, but also it's a place to keep a nib. This is an Amber is a Cat medium nib that I'm not using, but I keep it in this little Penbbs sleeve. This pen here is called Milky White, and it makes it seem like, well, that's kind of a color, but you have to see it up close and in person. It's not pearlescent, but it is not milky either. I would call it ivory, and it has that lovely gold fine nib. This is what I call the updated 308. This is the 480. It has the new sword clip, more pointier, if that's a technical term, pointier.
What is that thing you're doing?
It's technical.
Than the 308. The 308 is kind of a cigar shape, whereas the 480 is more reminiscent of a Schaefer balance, similar to this. This is a Wing Sung 626, which copies the shape of the Schaefer balance, and so I think they have a similar kind of a shape to them. This is an upgraded 308 in my opinion because it posts deeper and more securely, and the section is that concave kind of feel, and is very, very nice in the hand. Of course, I had to get the 480 in Amber is a Cat. Speaking of the other cat, the third cat in the series is Tootsie. This is Tootsie, and look at the chatoyance. This is the 323 model, and this pen, even though it has no clip and does not post, I call this my writer's pen. This pen feels more comfortable in my hand unposted than any other pen I own. Here is the first 323 I owned. This one is Black Tortoise. It's like a deep purple color. These all have fine nibs on them. And this is just a gorgeous pen. And of course, once I saw these are rare, when these come out, you have to really jump on them.
You're gonna jump on me. I know you're gonna jump on me. Like Nero jumped on Popea.
Ooh.
Popea, she was his wife and she was unfaithful to him. So he got mad and he jumped on her up and down, until he squashed her like a bug. Please don't jump on me. I'm not gonna jump on her.
This is the Amber is a Cat 323, and I put, again, a costume jewelry roll stop on this. Beautiful, beautiful pen. This is the 491, and this is what I think Penbbs tried to improve upon. This is a new model. Tried to improve upon the 323 by making this pen, which has a slightly similar shape to the 323, but they made the cap post. This finish is called Corduroy, and again, lovely stripes of blue and amber and gray. Lovely finish. And this has, again, another unique section. That's what I'm telling you about Penbbs. They are continuing to change things up, move things around, find new shapes. Here is one of, I think, the best models that Penbbs has created. This is the 456. This is the 456 vacuum filler. And I did a vacuum filler shootout a while back, and I'll link that here on an iCard, I think. But this pen still comes out as the winner, as a vac filler. You pull that back, stick the nib in the ink, push it down, the vacuum is broken, and the ink runs back up into the pen. You screw this bit down, it seals off the chamber. So this is a great pen for traveling. If you're flying, if you're going from one altitude to another, you can close off that ink chamber. The pen will still write for a while. It won't burp or spit ink at you. And if you need more ink, you just release that. It releases a little bit more ink, and then you can close it down. A fabulous, lovely looking pen, lovely feeling pen that posts securely and is still well balanced. Still a hard pen to beat, but there is a pen that is getting close to it, which I'll look at in a second. This pen was a gift to me. This is the 355. This is a bulk filler, and it works similar to the vacuum filler in that it has a closable chamber over here, but it has a rod that goes back, engages this piston by turning it the opposite way, and then you push and pull the piston back and forth to fill the pen. This finish is Aurora. This is one of the premium finishes that Penbbs creates, and you get a pen kimono with this one. Then there is the Penbbs 500. This is the long anticipated new model that came out just after Christmas. And we were all waiting for this one. And this is a very unique plunger filler, similar to the style of a TWSBI Go, other than the fact this has a retractable rod and there's a spring piston in there, and you put it in the ink, you push the piston up and down, and you get your ink, and then you release the rod and it goes back into the pen. This is a gorgeous pen, and this one, the 500 Galaxy, is right now my best Penbbs. This, if I'm going to do my ranking list, this is number one in my list. The only downfall of this pen is that it does not post. It does stick on there, but boy, that's a yard long. So, not postable. And of course, I had to get the 500 model when it came out. Jump on it. Amber as a cat. This one came with a fine nib as well. Amber as a cat. There it is with the paw prints. Beautiful writer. This, another new model. The 2020 sort of pen of the year for Penbbs. Whole new design. Magnetic cap. Magnet in the bottom. Magnet on the piston. And you take the cap and attach it on the outside to that piston. You can see it following it around there, and drag it up and down, and it moves the piston up and down and shoots ink out all over the place if you're not careful. Actually, it's not easy to shoot ink out. Not easy to do it accidentally. This is a beautiful pen. It is the most expensive pen in the entire Penbbs lineup. And it is now on the Etsy site. I think there's only 2 left. Now, there are 2 pens here that are not Penbbs, but I include them because they are some of the finest pens in my collection. These are 2 Moonman M800s, and the reason I include them is, you guessed it, I replaced the nib on the Moonman with the Mini Fude upturned fine nib. This is a two-tone. This is a two-tone Penbbs nib. That was gifted to me by a viewer. Thank you, Luke. He gave me 2 of these extras that he had. Of course, I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is my amber version of the M800. And I put the second nib in this one. This one I replaced the Bach nib, not the Moonman, but the Bach, for this Penbbs fine Waverly nib. That's how much I love these Waverlys. And I have two more examples of other pens that have Penbbs nibs in them. Only these aren't really Penbbs nibs. This is where I might do a whole video on this style nib. This is, let's get in close. This is my Moonman M600, which I got last year. And it has a Shui Yao fine nib. It says 1996. I've asked Daniel about this nib. It has a logo, two birds, Shui Yao, which he tells me Shui means water and Yao means ghost. And so it's like water ghost. And he referenced the Lady of the Lake who gave Excalibur to Arthur.
The Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water.
As being a water ghost. He doesn't know where this company came from, but thinks it's affiliated with Lingmo, which I agree, because I have a Lingmo Lorelei, which is very much like a 308, but it came, this isn't the original nib, but it came with a, that's got a Jinhao on it right now, but it came with a Shui Yao nib. You can see I've replaced my M600 nib, and that was a Schmidt. I've replaced it with this Shui Yao. Here's my Moonman M600S, which I also have a Shui Yao nib in. You can see they're similar. You can see that they're similar to the Penbbs Waverly nib, but slightly different. There's more tipping material, and it has a little bit bigger of an upturn. I bought the Shui Yaos from Bobby's eBay site, and I think I bought all of his stock because they've been out of stock ever since I bought the last one. So I think I've got about 5 of these. And as I say, I just bought one of these today, a fine nib for $5. So whenever they come up, I snap them up. Because I love these nibs. They're number 6. They can go in almost any pen that takes a number 6 nib. So there's my tour of Penbbs. I love this brand. I love their innovation. I love their continuing to search for new models, new filling systems. I love the Waverly nibs that they put in these pens. And I'm finding that I'm judging every other pen from the quality of these pens. These are affordable. There's no pen here other than this one that's more than $40 US. And many of these, like this one here, was $15.99. This one here was $13.99. So try to find a value like this in a fountain pen that writes as well as my $150 Pilot and better than my $315 Visconti. So that's my praise for Penbbs. I love Penbbs. I will continue to collect them. I will continue to write with them. And I will continue to espouse their virtues. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get an instant notification when a new video is posted. That just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching, and that's all she wrote.